Hi everyone, welcome to Honey Drops Tarot. This is a reading for Capricorn, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus. This is a love reading, Capricorn. It could be about romance, it could be about family, friends, soul tribe, your passions. It's a very general topic, but with a focus on love. Thank you so much for being here, for all of your likes, shares, and subscribes. I do appreciate it. One note, please do not fall for any scammers. I will never ever reach out to you to solicit for a personal reading, so if anybody does that, please report it or ignore it. I will never do that first. I do offer personal readings, and the information for that can be found below in my about section on my page. Capricorn, there's a very funny story to your reading. I filmed an entire reading for you just now and did not realize, I'm looking at it now, I filmed the entire thing in slow motion. Half an hour, Capricorn. Half an hour. And I just, Palo Santo in my area, and I asked Spirit why, why would you have me go on for so long if they weren't supposed to hear that message? But for some reason, Spirit doesn't make mistakes, okay? So we're gonna try again. Capricorn, I'm using the Tarot of the Abyss for your reading today, with the beautiful black and white deck. And for the Oracle card that I'll pull at the end, we will be pulling from the Wild Unknown Alchemy deck by Kim Kranz. The crystal I chose for you today is the White Howlite Tower, which it's just, white howlite is such a, it's dense, feels very, very dense. And when I was holding it earlier, in the last reading that I did for you, I saw a chalkboard and I saw somebody writing a lesson on the chalkboard. So it's kind of like that energy, that what is the lesson that you are currently being taught right now, that you're teaching another person? I'm not sure. We'll find out. This is a reading that is 4 cards as the base spread, 4 cards as a clarifier. I will explain all of the positions when they come out. Cards have been pre-shuffled. I will shuffle them now for your base spread. I never choose the cards. I just let them fly out of the deck when I shuffle. Just 2 more. Here we go. Thank you, Spirit. Okay, Spirit, one more time, one more time. It's amazing. Only one of the cards is a repeat from the last reading. So that's pretty significant. A very, very different reading. In your current circumstances, you have the 2 of Swords. So the 2 of Swords, I got this for a couple of the other earth elements that I read for, Virgo and Taurus. I think it was Virgo? Now I can't remember. You might want to check out the other earth placements too, or the earth signs if you have earth placements in other areas of your chart. 2 of Swords talks about a crossroads, a kind of indecision in your current circumstances. I often see this card as comedy and tragedy. What I'm being drawn to is the fact that she's actually kneeling on the swords. So in a sense, she's put the swords down. Swords energy is air energy, and it talks about communication and information and conveying something. So right now, and thinking, the thinking mind. So right now you're kind of, it's almost like, should I do the fun thing or the practical thing? Should I do the fun thing or the practical thing? Capricorns I know manage to do both. But this could be really, really, really important. It's like you don't have time for both. And so you're having to choose and you don't know which one to choose. But you have to, there's a little bit of caution here, because Spirit's saying that, like, if you don't make a decision, you're just going to end up with this void of where action should be. This void where action should be. You know, I had my Akashic records read a few times now. The Akashic records being the kind of storehouse in the great beyond, in the next levels of dimensions that warehouse all the moments of existence that were, are, and ever will be. And so I looked at my past lives, and my records reader was telling me that there was a project that I had been working on, I don't know, at 15 years ago at this point, which I still have not finished, but 15 years ago I was working on a book, and she told me that my book had its own Akashic record, and that by not finishing that book, I was holding up the progress of the records for the book. That it had its own, it's like all of our decision making has a life of its own. Now we have free will. I don't have to finish that book. I may never finish it. But then the possibility of what would have been, at least in this earthly realm for me, regarding that story, might be lost forever. You know, so I don't know why that, well, I do know why I'm bringing that up, because there's something here that you're trying to decide on. And Spirit is trying to reinforce with you how important it is that you decide. Like, stop stalling? Stop stalling. This is clarified by the Queen of Cups, which is Cancer energy. I love this card because I'm a Cancer. But she's on this ship looking out into the rocky seas, represented kind of by beautiful maiden energy here, or mother energy rather. It's beautiful. You know, anytime the seas are tumultuous, it's kind of like the space of the emotions. So there's something here, and it really matters a lot to you. But even in the way that I have the card situated right now, it's like the Queen of Cups, you know, Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio, for what it's worth. You may know somebody in one of those signs looking at you and saying, what decision are you going to make? We're talking about your happiness here. We're talking about something that fuels your soul, that speaks to your emotional your emotional well-being. Don't you owe it to yourself to explore that? Why waste any more time? May have to do with the Cancer, because here's the Chariot card in the reverse, in the challenge position. There is no forward movement. You can see here the kind of character riding on high, like kind of strapped between two Canadian geese, like towards what I presume is like a sunlight. The Chariot card is the major arcana. It's the number 7 card, and it talks about great fast movement forward, a victory, towards a victory. You're in their challenge position right now, it's in reverse, so complete standstill. And look at that, clarified by the 6 of Wands in reverse. This card is this card in the minor arcana. So we have major arcana, which is divinely guided energies, and minor arcana, which is the energies that we can control. These two cards are cards of victory. Here you can see the ballerina on the stage, the shadowy figures in the audience clapping for her, right? She's holding a whole bouquet of roses, and she's taking her bow of accomplishment. Both these cards are in your challenge position, both in reverse. You're really, really frustrated right now. I can feel it. I can feel the frustration. Maybe maybe a business venture fell through, or a relationship, and you worked so hard, you know. I hear that, like, I worked so hard, and why didn't this work out? I'm trying to ask Spirit if you're harping on it, like if you're lingering on it. I don't necessarily see that. They're not telling me that. They're actually telling me to move on. So I'm going to move on to the next one. In your strength energy of the King of Swords, this is Gemini energy. This card has come out in so many of the love readings. And I find that very interesting because, yeah, you would think a Queen of Cups would come out in a love reading, like somebody loving and in the emotional state. The King of Swords, it's not that Gemini energy can't be loving, but they're an air sign, and it's a very cerebral energy. So in your strengths, you know, maybe you're trying to keep the emotions at bay, maybe because you've been disappointed recently. King of Swords is an authority figure, a CEO energy, a doctor, a lawyer, or practitioner, somebody who is skilled, studied, accredited. I see his paperwork in his hand. You know, for the first time, I'm like realizing there's a labyrinth behind him, right? It's hard to tell on the camera, but I'm thinking now, it's almost like he mapped out his path through the labyrinth, and he's gonna go through, having mapped out his plan. I feel that is such a Capricorn energy. You're mapping out your plan. That's your strength. Spirit is saying, play to your strength, play to your strength. So I don't know if this has to do with a romantic interest or venturing into the romantic realm for you. If you're attracting a Gemini or a King of Swords figure, somebody who is very much large and in charge. It's clarified by the Four of Pentacles, though. This was the only card that was left over from the slow motion reading I just did for you that will never see the light of day. You got this card in reverse. This is the card of the Miser of the Tarot. You can see Pentacles energy is your energy, Earth energy. Pentacles can represent seeds of growth, can represent coin or money, finances, investments of time and energy. And he's holding on to it really, really tightly. But you got this card in reverse to clarify the King of Swords. So it's kind of like saying you got to give some to get some. You got to give up a little bit to get a little bit. You can't just hold on to everything and then expect anyone to interact with you. That's not how it works, especially not in love. You got to give a little to get a little. Unfortunately, I'm hearing the Goo Goo Dolls remake of that song, yeah, Give a Little Bit. Or I don't know if that's the name of the song, but even me saying give a little bit, I'm sure you know the rest, right? Man, I don't like that song. Anyway, it's not the song, I don't like that rendition. But that is neither here nor there and not relevant to your reading. Unless it is relevant to your reading. Maybe you just heard that song. If you did, take it as a confirmation of spirit. So you've got your plan mapped out. Maybe you're not telling anyone either, right? The King of Swords usually has his sword pointed up. Up signifies kind of a communication and clarity. He's got his pointed down, which is kind of like, you know, you can tell me that I have to give a little bit and let go of some stuff, but there's some information that I'm just going to keep close to my chest. And that's your choice. That's your choice. From the advice from Spirit, Page of Pentacles. Planting a new seed. There's a key, a skeleton key here, and anytime I see skeleton keys, it always represents connection with the divine higher self. You have a self that's in your human body here, and a self that's in the 5D. It's like your soul. You're your avatar for your soul, right? And so whenever I see skeleton keys, I'm always going to bring that up. That, are you in alignment with your soul's purpose? Are you doing what it is that you're meant to do? Are you being true to yourself and standing in your integrity, right? I do see something really beautiful that you want to plant here. You want to take that, you want to take one single pentacle, one single seed of opportunity, and plant it and wait for it to harvest, to grow, and to, you want to cultivate something new. This is clarified by the Nine of Cups, which is wish fulfillment. So it's almost like saying, you know, if you're in a single energy right now, you have to give a little bit. You have to give this whole big thing to someone else. And what do I mean by that? It doesn't mean that because this is a page, so it is a small gesture. So it's not like saying, hey baby, here's my bank account, my debit card, go crazy, or the debit card of my heart, go crazy. No. Page of Pentacles is just like, would you like to have a coffee sometime? I would love to hang out. Let's make a plan. Very small but significant. Maybe this is what you're debating right now. Should I or shouldn't I? Should I or shouldn't I? This is Spirit's advice. They're saying if you plant that seed, look at everything, look at all the cups that are full of flowers, full of blooms. Even in the depiction of this character, I feel like there's a kind of a quietude, a softness. You know, Capricorns are, please don't take offense to this, but this is what I've been told by Capricorns, that they're not always seen as soft. You know, they're very practical people. You tell me. But I see kind of a softness to this energy. It's almost like you're tired of having to be in, I suppose, a divine masculine energy all the time. We are always able to inhabit both divine feminine and divine masculine energies, to be the receiver and the receptacle in the more passive state, or to be in the more aggressive, energized, you know, hunter-gatherer state. And we can fluctuate that depending on the circumstances we're in. And so if you've spent so much of your life having to be in divine masculine energy, would you even know how to receive? Would you even know how to accept love when it was offered to you? Sometimes you have to find a way to soften your soul a little bit, soften your heart a little bit, to let the right person in, to let the right circumstance in. You know, maybe we'll experience disappointments along the way. Human beings are fallible, right? So the expectation perhaps is very high right now. That's okay. I'm not saying that Spirit is telling you to lower your expectations. Absolutely not. But what they are saying is go with the flow, ease up a little bit. Not everyone is going to be like the potential hardships of the past. So this is your reading, Capricorn. I'm going to pull now from the Alchemy, Wild Unknown Alchemy deck. Look at this, spring. at how beautiful. Reminds me of this card, Page of Pentacles, right? Planting the seed and then waiting beautifully. Look at, I mean, it almost looks like they're jewels. They're like crystals in the tree here. They look kind of pink, so it could be like a tourmaline or a ruby or rose quartz or something like that. We're going to read from the book. It's number 17. So I'm going to read from the book. Blossoming, becoming the horizon. When spring arrives, our eyes lift from the work and we peer out the window of our laboratory. We realize Earth has been in its own transformational spin, readying itself for a new era of growth. In a state of wonder, the alchemist sets aside the work of winter and opens the door, stepping into spring. When this card arrives, it indicates a blossoming, a coming into one's own. It's generation time. You may be dreaming up a business plan, humming a new melody, or flirting with a special someone. See? Spring is the season of the East, where the sun rises and lights the world. You do not have to work on anything during this phase. Let the energy of the season push through. You made it through winter, and the bulbs burst on their own. Spring has a what's next quality to it. Sit in stillness and envision the horizon. Sit with the image until it shifts, and you see something coming your way. Buds and grasses push up and out during spring. The season has a driving momentum to it, so keep an eye out for impatience, anger, or pushiness. And I will add to that, expectation. Just allow things to be. Just allow things to be. But put your best foot forward. Put something out there. Plant a seed. That's your reading. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope something resonates for you. If it did, please like, share, and subscribe to my channel. Hit the bell notification button if you would like to receive updates for when I post new readings. Thank you so much, Capricorn. See you soon.